Psalm 89 is one of these psalms that's just great for us when we're living in the midst of troubled times. It begins with the first 4 verses. Your love, O Lord, forever will I sing. From age to age my youth will proclaim your faithfulness, for I am persuaded that your steadfast love is established forever. You have set your faithfulness firmly in the heavens. I have made a chosen covenant with my chosen one, God says. I have sworn an oath to David, my servant. I will establish your line forever and preserve your throne for all generations. Here at the beginning of the psalm, we hear how it is that God has created us and established the line of David to be that saving line for all people forevermore. And so this understanding of who God is established right away. In the first number of verses of Psalm 89, we hear about how this works out and how God has been faithful to the people forever. And then we get to this change where it seems like the world is not going right now the way that we want it to go. Sin has gotten in the way. Our own egos have gotten in the way. We have fallen away from God's truth, God's way of living. And so the last half of the psalm is a question of why, God, is it so bad right now? A lament for the times that we are in. And remember, this was written way back before Jesus was even born, a long time ago, and yet this psalm can ring true for us as we read it today. It says God will not break God's covenant with us, and God will remain strong with us, but it talks about how even in this time, I feel cast off. I feel like I am not listened to. It feels like we can say that one, how long, O Lord? How long will you hide yourself? When will you come? Am I going to have to face death? Am I going to face the grave? Where is that love that you've talked about? Where is that king that came from David's line? Why is it that my enemies and sickness and death are overwhelming for us? And yet, at the end, the psalm writer declares, but blessed be the Lord forever. Amen and amen. A friend of mine said, well, you can sum all of your confirmation lessons up in 2 questions. What is the first question? What is God's job? Well, God's job is to love and care for us. What is our job? Well, our job is to trust God. And that's what we're called to do. That's how we are called to live our lives as people who are followers of God, people who relish the great things that God has done for us. And even in the darkest days, and in the days when things don't feel great for us, we can go back to the scriptures, especially to the Psalms, and say, and yet God will be faithful. We can cry out to God in our difficulties and our sadness and our sorrows, knowing that God will be there for us forever. Amen and amen.